I do recall the surveyor actually slightly offending the person there. He said a few choice words, which we won't repeat, but basically said the place wasn't very nice and wasn't really fit for habitation. Amortization, bit of a difficult one to say that. Right, everybody, welcome. So we're going to be doing a series now where I break down each of the properties that we've purchased over the years in our property portfolio breakdown. So if you've come halfway through in the series, don't forget to go all the way back to the beginning, watch them all the way through one after the other, and then we'll do a summary at the end. Hopefully you're going to find this really interesting and kind of my journey on our property breakdown, which you'll see in other videos I feed in as a general thing. So here you're going to get the real meaty information. And then that information will be summarized at the end. So when you watch other videos and I say, so our property portfolio is XYZ, then you understand where that comes from. So you can watch these videos over and over again. Nice little series. And as I say, if you've come in halfway through, don't forget to go back to the beginning and watch them all the way through. Otherwise they won't make sense. So today we are looking at property 7. So this was a typical kind of buy, refurbishment, refinance, and then rented out type property. So this was a 2-bed flat, just around the corner from our offices, bought in 2021. And it was purchased for £150,000, 150k. Comes with a car parking space, 2-bed, pretty standard, not in a building that we manage. End value was 185k. It's not in the as desirable area as some of the previous 2-bed flats that we mentioned, but we spent probably, I think we spent about 10k on it. So 10k of costs. So you're looking at a total return of 25k on that. And what was good about this particular one was actually one of the first ones that we did a bridging loan on. The previous property we did a bridging loan on, but we went in for a normal mortgage on this one. And what's important to note about that is that they went round and they said that it wasn't for a buy-to-let, when I say normal mortgage, a buy-to-let mortgage, they said that this property wasn't fit for a tenant to move in straight away. Although there was someone living there, they had they had neglected the place. They were happy with it, but it wasn't fit for a tenant to move in their eyes. I do recall the surveyor actually slightly offending the person there. He said a few choice words, which we won't repeat, but basically said the place wasn't very nice and wasn't really fit for habitation. It wasn't that bad, to be fair to the guy that lived there, but they weren't willing to give a normal buy-to-let. So originally we'd negotiated about £155,000 for this, but I had to go back and say, look, because I can't get a normal mortgage on it because of the state, I need to renegotiate the price. There's no shame in doing that. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But there's no shame in doing that, and we were able to knock a further £5,000 off, which is broadly speaking what it cost me in extra interest and hassle factor of having a bridging loan rather than a straight buy-to-let. So once we've done all that, we then we've got this 25k equity in the portfolio. So we have this property that's worth 185 and we've paid 150 for it, and then we've got 25k equity. I know in most of the videos I haven't touched on legal costs and stamp duty and all the rest of it. You've got to remember that during this period there are a lot of stamp duty discounts, applications. Sometimes we're able to get stamp duty refunds on things. So I've kept the figures super simple for everybody. Obviously, when you're watching this video, you might find that you'll have to pay stamp duty on some of these things. It might be other costs, I don't know. This is just a snippet in time. It's not the most accurate of figures, I'm rounding them up, but you will need to factor in stamp duty and things in there if it's applicable at the time. Back then, there was no stamp duty on this particular, or it was reduced, and you were only having to pay the second home stamp duty. So these costs are all built in, and this 25k here, and don't forget, the costs like the stamp duties, solicitors' fees and the rest of it all come off your capital gains tax at the end. So when we sell these properties through the business, we'll have to pay tax on the profit, the difference, what we've made, but we'll be able to deduct all of those things off of it at that stage. So it's really important you make a note of those in your accounts, and you have your kind of really homed in capital day one expenditure that isn't tax deductible at the time of purchasing the property, but will be when you come to exit, if that's what you choose to do. But don't forget that those costs, they go down with inflation as well. So if you spend 5 grand in doing stamp duty today and sell the property in 20 years time, that 5 grand that you can claim is not the same 5 grand that you spent out. So it works both ways, inflation, unfortunately. So this particular property, we did that up, and then we got a tenant in there, and they are paying £1,200 per calendar month for that. I don't know what the going rent was at the time, but I would hazard a guess it was probably around about 1,000, maybe 1,100, 2021. And we went for a bit of a rental boom during that period. But it's important to note this one was a fairly standard refurbishment. It's a nice flat for the lady that lives there now. And, you know, the point of this one really was about negotiating this 150,000 because we weren't able to get a new or a normal buy to let. So, yeah, you can see that sort of journey there for it, really. So, yeah, we'll move on to the next property. Don't forget to subscribe. It will give you a little alert, and you'll be able to see that we've uploaded a new video. And don't forget to comment below. That actually helps the algorithm, and it will then pump the video out to a wider audience and hopefully help more people that will be of interest. So subscribe, like, comment. They're 3 things to do. Thank you for watching the video all the way through.